Hi, I'm Nicole,
And I'm Leah.
and welcome to the Author Narrator Sessions, where we take you behind the scenes of the Song of the King's Heart trilogy audiobooks. Today, we're going to talk about singing in stories. I myself have always loved songs in stories. Some of my favorite novels, particularly in fantasy, you'll see this, and in historical fiction, have had songs in them. And so when I wrote the Song of the King's Heart trilogy, songs came forth in various ways. However, I never heard the melody. I will be honest, I never heard anything. These songs came and I knew they needed some sort of structure, but I didn't know what that was. And so, lo and behold, when the narrator is also a trained musician, amazing things happen. So, Leah, tell me how you did that with the songs and the songs of in book one, Origins.
Sure. Well, when I read the book and I read it all the way through before I started recording, I noticed the songs. And like you, I love when there are songs in a book. And I first saw it as a puzzle, just thinking, well, not only am I the narrator, I'm also a reader. And I thought to myself, well, each reader might approach these songs differently, but my job is to put sound to the words. So I'm going to try something. And so little do you know that long ago when I was a child, I had a dream of being a singer-songwriter. That was the dream. And it would come in waves, like it's what I want to do, but not, but I never did it. And so I do sing, I do act, I have that training. And then when I saw this, I remember I asked you and the publisher, is there a, any melody? Is there anything you want me to do? And the instruction was, feel it out. We
Yeah.
trust you. And so I thought, okay. And a very close friend of mine is a composer. And so my first gut reaction was to have a session with him and just say, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? Because he's a trained composer. And he wasn't available. And I finally just nudged him and he just said, just trust that you can do it.
Just do
Just
it.
do it. And so I thought, okay, all right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on my own. And so in the end, what I did was a lot of research. One of the songs was more of a shanty type of song, very bawdy. And so I researched, those types of songs. And then there was one that was, it was a hopeful prayer for a wedding song. And I thought, okay, I've been to many weddings. I know what the vibe is. And so I researched a lot to try and get an idea of an inspiration, so to speak. And then I just went back to really just the character of like, what would the character be doing in this? And knowing my own range, what can I do?
Mhm.
So, and then in the end, what I did um, was I recorded like three versions. I call it the Goldilocks approach. You have something too small, too big, and just right. And so I did for each song, I just did like a higher version, a lower version, a faster version, etc. And I gave you and the publisher what I thought was the best. And then, but I was also prepared that if you said, that's not really what we're looking for, I had other versions. But in the end, you chose the ones that I liked. And it was totally fun because it was an opportunity for me to tap into a little dream that I hadn't touched since I was, I would say, in elementary school. So it was really fun to make up the melody and to make up the harmonies that came with it. And I hope that the listeners like it.
Well, I know it's one of my favorite parts, and what's interesting is the second book, Blood and Chaos, doesn't have a lot of singing. It's a war book, but it's not just that. There's a lot of other stuff going on. But the last book, Civilizations, and in the end, I decided in doing my own research that the way news was shared, a lot of things happen where characters are no longer in the same place, but they need to know what's going on. And of course, you can use letters, but another way is to use songs that are sung in tavernias by rhapsodists. That was a huge way that news was spread and shared, and histories documented in the ancient world. So I actually got a book called, I don't know, it was a book on songwriting. And because I wanted these songs to be in there and tell the news. And then, so the third book has a lot of those, and I can't wait to see what you do with them, and also just be entertained myself by your beautiful voice.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.